wake up, Billies. We gotta keep moving, na 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 na. Wake up, Billies. Wake up, Billies. Everybody gotta put their time in. Wake up, Billies. Voice our opinion and place your calling. WB. Be yourself, see yourself. This is a show my people. Billies our hope, so to needless reason. Nobody feel left out, is the vibe we dealing. Let's find a solution. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Love, respect, unselfishness and cooperation. That's how we need to build a strong nation. We are the people to make the changes. We are the changes. WB. And all the things that will be happen like God blue skies. I love it make people get victimized. Let's work together for better. We got to unite. Billies, yeah. Wake up, Billies. Wake up, Billies. Another day is here. Wake up, Billies. Wake up, Billies. We gotta keep moving. Na 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 na. Wake up, Billies. Wake up, Billies. Everybody gotta put their time in. Wake up, Billies. Wake up, Billies. Voice our opinion and place your calling. WB. Get up, make every day count. Don't waste it, people. Do your part, play your role, get where you need to. You can tune in for work or in your vehicle. If you got a problem, pick up the phone. Why wait? It's a time calling. It's a show with no matter even if you're at home. Just call in. WB. Wake up, Billies. Wake up, Billies. Another day is here. Wake up, Billies. Wake up, Billies. We gotta keep moving. Na 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 na. Wake up, Billies. Wake up, Billies. Everybody gotta put their time in. Wake up, Billies. Wake up, Billies. Voice our opinion and place your calling. WB. Be yourself, see yourself. This is a show, my people. Billies our hope, so to needless reason. Nobody feel left out, is the vibe we dealing. Let's find a solution. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Love, respect, unselfishness and cooperation. That's how we need to build a strong nation. We are the people to make the changes. We are the changes. WB. And all the things that will happen like God blue skies. I love it make people get victimized. Let's work together for better. We got to unite. Billies, yeah. Wake up, Billies. Wake up, Billies. Another day is here. Wake up, Billies. Wake up, Billies. We gotta keep moving. Na 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 na. Wake up, Billies. Wake up, Billies. You gotta put the time in. Wake up, Billies. Wake up, Billies. Voice our opinion and place your calling. WB.
Good morning, Billies. Welcome to the Monday morning edition of Wake Up Billies Morning Vibes. It's Monday, the 13th of January, 2025. I'm Mose, Hyde, and I've got the wheels in my hand this morning of the WUB, Wake Up Billies Morning Vibes, Billies' premier morning conversation. And wherever you are on this morning, we hope that you have lifted with great health, extremely high energy level, vibrations positive as always, and that you've got space and time to be with us, to participate, to be a WUBer right up until 9 this morning. We want to welcome everybody that's listening to Creme Radio, those watching us on XTV, those getting us via apps, via social media streams, those getting us on simulcast coverage. As you are aware, before we jump into the main event, we do serve up a quick serving of preliminary action. We've got your morning news, but before we do that, we've got some weather forecast information for you, courtesy to the National Meteorological Service. And for that, we've got forecaster Tariq Matthews for this Monday morning.
Good morning. Mainly fair weather conditions prevail. The 24-hour forecast, sunny skies with a few cloudy spells today, and clear to partly cloudy skies tonight. Showers, if any, will be isolated. The maximum temperatures for today will reach 85 degrees Fahrenheit along the coast, 88 inland, and 77 up in the hills. The low temperatures for tonight will be around 76 degrees Fahrenheit along the coast, 69 inland, and 65 up in the hills. The winds from the open sea will be from the east southeast at 10 to 15 knots, and the sea conditions will be slight to light chop. A high tide will occur this morning at 10:25, a low tide this evening at 3:06, another high tide tonight at 9:32, and another low tide early tomorrow morning at 4:59. The sun will rise this morning at 6:25 and will set this evening at 5:37. The moon will set this morning at 6:18 and will rise this evening at 5:33. The outlook for Tuesday and Tuesday night: skies will be partly cloudy to cloudy. Showers will be generally isolated, with a chance for a few more, mainly over northern and central areas on Tuesday. For more details on our forecasts, please visit our website at nms.gov.bz. With that, we end this morning's forecast from the Belize National Met Service.
The first private radio in Belize, 89. Creme FM presents the news. Informative, accurate, current information, local, regional, and international news, weather and sports. And now, the news. The first private radio in Belize since 1989, Creme FM presents the news. Informative, accurate, current information, local, regional, and international news, weather and sports. And now, the news.
The list of over 100 establishments which were ticketed after being found to be engaging in price gouging in 2024. Some of these establishments are repeat offenders, while Minister of Agriculture and Food Security, Honorable Mose admitted that he has not seen the list. He assured that repeat offenders will be dealt with to the full extent of the law.
But I'm sure that there are regulations in place for that. If you're repeated offenders, then like I said, I haven't seen the list, but we'll look at what the law says about it, and if they need to close them down, then we close them down. Right? We make them, we publicize them first, we show the people them that these people are gouging, and after that, then we follow the law. There's a law for it, right? So we have to follow what the law says.
In COVID times, 34-year-old Harrison Sutherland became known as Dr. Sutherland. He is back in the news now because he's been charged with an unusual offense, that of carrying an article or load on a bicycle in such a manner which prevented him from having full control of the said bicycle. In this case, Sutherland says he was doing a good deed by helping out an elderly woman. After the police commissioner, Chester Williams, heard of the charge, he declared that he has directed that the charge be withdrawn today. Sutherland was granted bail of $200 after pleading not guilty. Compound Williams stated, "How can we now punish someone for such a kind gesture? It begs the question as to what kind of society we intend to promote. I believe we need more people to be engaged in such positive gestures, especially towards our senior citizens. While I recognize that the police is doing their job, I believe this charge is unreasonable and goes directly against the grain of what we are trying to promote. I hope that what Sutherland did will be seen by all for what it is, a kind gesture towards a senior citizen, and that we may all follow in his lead. If we demonstrate kindness and empathy towards each other, we will have a more peaceful and orderly society." A police officer who was caught on surveillance footage stealing cash out of a register at a grocery store in Belize City has been suspended, but with his full salary. Police Constable Peter Graham was on special duty at the store, but instead of protecting the property, he became a perpetrator against them. When the store owner caught up to what happened, Graham confidently tells the owner to review the surveillance footage. The owner had frowned upon him being behind the counter, but he said he was merely locking the register that had been left open. Graham has been suspended from active duty effective January 11th, pending the outcome of an investigation. A groundbreaking ceremony was held on Friday for the upgrade of a road that goes from the Spanish Lookout community to Bullet Tree Village in the Cayo district. It extends for 9.56 miles or 15.4 kilometers. The contract is for $9,954,787.19, was awarded to A&N Construction Limited. The works are expected to last 18 months. Present for the ceremony were Minister of Infrastructure Development, Julius Espat, Cayo North Area Representative Michelle Shabat, and Cayo Northeast Area Representative Rolando Habet. It is considered an important thoroughfare for San Ignacio residents. The Ministry's Project Execution Unit will provide management and supervision of the road works. Increased fees for entry into archaeological reserves came into effect on January 1st. Since then, a tour guide has complained about the poor maintenance of some of the sites. It's an old problem, as tour guides have often pointed out the lack of guardrails as well as well-defined trails at different archaeological reserves. In the case of San Antonich, the guide says it is past time for there to be a pedestrian skywalk or a permanent high bridge for access to the site rather than via the ferry crossing that becomes inaccessible when the Mopan River floods. Commenting on the Facebook post, another guide shared that a large pothole in front of the restroom area has been at San Antonich since 2023. Others, however, point out that the collection of increased fees just started and the Institute of Archaeology should be given time to invest the additional revenue into repairs. The Central Bank of Belize intends to reveal the new banknotes featuring the images of national heroes George Price and Philip Golson on January 23rd. However, the notes will not enter circulation until the third quarter of this year. The new notes will have enhanced security features. That ends morning news update here inside the WUB Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes. We'll take ourselves a small break, and then when we come back on the other side, we're going to open up for conversation on Creme Radio and on XTV.
The first private radio in Belize since 1989. The news. Informative, accurate, current information, local, regional, and international news, weather and sports.
When you bank your way, it's amazing how much time you have.
right, so welcome back. This is Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes. Mose Hyde hosting WB today, Monday, 13th January, 2025. And we are now open for the business of conversation, which means that you are now able to give us a call and join in and express your thoughts and views to start this new week. The telephone number 280-5848, that is the live line for you to participate in the conversation. And as you know, we are always appreciative and we are always very, very happy when you take that opportunity to join us in conversation, as this becomes very ceremony. If we don't have people just come forward and make a reason with one another, and we try to avoid that whole sermon thing. So just utilize the line. It's right here on the set, so once it rings, we answer. That's the way it works. This is the Monday morning start of a new week here, work week at least, and there's a lot going on. I just want to put out a disclaimer before we go further that I might have some coughing fits live on air. I cannot. It's a kind of a unpleasant bug going around, and I got my full dose of that last week into the weekend. So still on the mend from all of that. It's left me, as many people, I know there's a number of people I know that are in recovery mode, and if you've not gotten that bug, I hope you don't. It's a miserable little thing, and yeah, throw some of the nasty punches your way. So I still have one kind of a ugly cough as a result, so just bear with me on that if I do end up doing that. But yeah, it's Monday morning, and well, one of the first things I've got to do is just to say good morning, shout out all the peoples that get up in the morning and link with us, WB, whether on social media stream or you have our apps. There in Los Angeles, we've been out there, of course, we were out there last year, did the summit, and we do have people who are locked in out of LA. That's some rough stuff going on, some rough stuff. And we often hear about fires in California. There's nothing new to that. So they've had fires. You would have to be familiar with LA and surrounding areas of LA to have an understanding of what makes what's going on now just of historic proportions. I was just blown away when I kind of like looked at it. I mean, this fire has been going on now for days, and like for many, it's not new. You hear about fires going on, but I think I don't know if it was on Thursday or sometime around, I kind of like took a peek at some videos, and I was like, no, what the areas and just the sheer magnitude of the destruction, I had never seen. I mean, these are areas that I'm familiar with because, you know, I've been to LA multiple times, and these are areas that I've seen, and I'm looking at these areas, and it's like every now and then there's a house standing. It's like everything just, these are like, yeah, we probably like rich people live, right? Just gone. And it blows my mind, the scale of the fires in Los Angeles. It literally has blown my mind. I guess many Belizeans, of course, reside in that area. Many Belizeans, that's the place that they have visited. That's the state that they have visited, simply because we got family there. So I know that there's a number of people that kind of have some familiarity, but if you don't, if you've ever been to LA, then it seems just ordinary. But if you've been and you know these places and you've seen these sites and you know these locations and these neighborhoods, then you get a sense of just how destructive this particular fire has been. Just historic in its size and the amount of destruction, and in fact still burning, and to some extent still not under control. So it's of course one of the things, I guess, is that the areas affected are what you'd call, when a lot of these areas are very affluent areas. So the part I lay with most of we stay, where would that be, like, the hood, as we would have called it, has not been affected except for the level of smoke and ash that they're experiencing. And of course, there's no expectation that that is going to change insofar as these areas are going to get affected. We hope it remains that way, but for sure, it's just unimaginable, the fact that this is the empire, and something like a fire has kicked them hard. I mean, we know about joking about our people running out of water. Here, this is a fire in Belize. Like, we know about that, but like, this is the mighty empire, and this is, I think, if I'm not mistaken, the California economy is, if California was a nation unto itself, it would be the 8th largest economy on planet Earth. Like, just take California out of the United States and you made it into a nation. That's how large its economy is. So you're talking about one of the wealthiest states in the United States of America. They're not lacking in resources. Listen, you go and you read the reports and check the videos, like, literally, their hydrants didn't have water. They went up against fire and wind, and they have lost. Like, it's just hard. It's hard to just comprehend that you could have a fire so wide scale, just so out of control, that one of the richest places on earth could not protect so many homes. I mean, you're talking about just hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of homes, like seaside, ocean view, valley cliffs, hillside, like mansions, Hollywood stars. It's just crazy. And so again, at least the folks I know, they don't live in those areas, but the fact remains is that there's the scale of what has happened. And I also got to point out that I think at last check, there's some 24 folks that have died. And so I start off this morning by definitely just reaching out to our family, brothers and sisters that are out in the West. Even if they have not lost property, I'm sure that they are definitely shaken up. I can't imagine that you are not. Like, just to be in that, I mean, it's almost like apocalyptic, to use that cliche term to describe what's going on there. I mean, it's like literally Rome is burning. Like, and I think there's some indication that while they're just about getting control of some of the areas, that they now have the return of some of the winds that have really been a problem. And nobody will say it because nobody wants to acknowledge it. Well, there are those who are, but you won't get that mainstream. This fire has happened. This is a part of the reality, but there is something responsible for the scale. And it is really the news here, is that this is the result of the altered state of the planet's climate. And this is a part of what has been in the forecast for years, that this is the kind of thing that is going to happen. This is the kind of experience that gets just a bit worse because the planet is changing, the climate has changed, and it has been altered, and it doesn't care if you acknowledge it or if you believe in it or if you worry about it or if you even understand it or if you know it. It doesn't care. Hey, this your business. It's my business. You worry about that if you want. But one thing it is that you can't change the outcomes. You can't change the experience that you will have as a result of it. Oh, it's not going to because you don't acknowledge it and you don't study it and you don't care about it means that it's then going to stay away and it's not going to impact you. Unfortunately, that's not the way it works. So these are consequences, right? And you look at a lot of the news coverage, you're not going to see that because that is not a popular consideration. That's not what you want to hear or deal with. Well, fair. Ignore it, but you can't ignore what's going on. And again, I mentioned, like, you hear about fires all the time. This is literally like, the scale of this is just, it's really hard to put your mind around it. It truly is. But, and you know, we thankfully for us, I guess, we generally do not live in a lot of the areas that are prone to fires. Yes, we do have, and we are more and more, we are starting to build in areas that have the potential for fires. We do have our fire season here in Belize, but we are just now starting to populate more of these areas. And so it's potentially something that we will have to unfortunately experience at some point in time. But for sure, this is a part of our new norm. Just file it and tag it and know that that's what's going on. But we again hope that we know that there's some level of distress caused by it, and to our brothers and sisters out there in LA and on the west side there, we stand in solidarity with you. No, we come home. Let me repeat that the telephone number is 280-5848. Now, on a ridiculous note, it's unbelievable that that a man is charged for riding a 5-gallon water bottle on the bicycle. That it's early in the year, but that is a sure contender for ridiculous action of the year. And it required the Commissioner of Police to weigh in and jump in and to kind of reverse. This is after the person was arrested and actually given bail of $200. And I know that a lot has been said, and people have looked at it and said, "What? That's just ridiculous." Very ridiculous. But I think it's more ridiculous when you consider some of the violations that occur as per normal. Right? There's nothing goes on. Well, in the same news cycle, when we report that Mr. Sutherland is charged for riding a 5-gallon water bottle, and charged. Like, it's actually processed. It's like, well, there's no, oh, don't do that. It's a one, listen, I wonder how many times this has ever been this. I don't know. People use their bicycles to move the 5-gallon water often, but we're doing a lot worse every day. You stand up anywhere and you want to see craziness in traffic. But anyway, this brother get charged. And he had to get arrested and he had to get bail, apparently. That's what our news is reporting, $200. But in that same news cycle, right here, we're reporting that we have a list of 100 stores that have violated price control. And, well, of course, you hear the huff and puff. Some of them apparently are repeat offenders. So there was a list that came out sometime in 2024. And so this is a new list of violations. Over 100, apparently, stores. And so we hear Minister of Government, Minister Mai, say, well, you know, the repeat offenders will be dealt with to the full extent of the law. And that sounds good. Sounds like, yeah, we mean business. Now, as much as we fault the discretion of the officer who decided to arrest somebody for having a 5-gallon bottle of water on the bike, we fault the discretion is an absence of any discretion at all. One thing you cannot say is that that officer is not about the job. You can't say the officer that somebody where have one certain commitment for hold people accountable, even if it is poorly conceived, even if it's ridiculous to take on somebody who's doing that. But the officer that, the officer no huff and puff. He's everything obviously this officer, and I'm assuming it's a he, I don't know. The officer do his job. Yes, that was a 5-gallon bottle of water, but he didn't carry it to the fullest. In a very trivial matter, that officer maintain a level of zeal and follow through and principle. The law is the law. Well, the problem we have is that, or at least as we have described, because we've had this conversation multiple times before, that if you put in place a price control and I ignore it, and I ignore it over a period of time, and people come and pay more than they're supposed to pay for a particular item, the way it works is that if what you are going to fine me is less than the net gain I will get by charging more, then you're not going to change my conduct. So, if the fine is $500, and trust me, I believe it's some small sum like that, possibly less. I think it's somewhere around that. The fine, let's say the fine is $500. Now remember now, these price controls, there's some pushback, and you had the association, merchants, chamber, who were not in agreement with price control, and there are some economists that hate price control and blah, 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 blah. Anyway, certain items were flagged for price control. They say we can't just run up the price on these items. So there's a list. Could do with the other items, but these items, they're not the price where you have to charge. And so those prices, all these places that sell stuff, they are where you can run up the price on these items, right? Now, let's consider how this works out, why you're wasting your time and it's all just, it all looks and sounds good, but it's really nonsense, because if you're not going to put a fine that is significant enough, if the consequences of violating price control are not significant enough, the incentive to ignore price control is there. So if, and I'm not saying that this is a price control item, but let's say we decide that you have a price control. I think you have a price control on menstrual products for women, hygiene products for women, and you're supposed to charge $5 for it, but you decide you want to charge $7, and you're selling these items, and you're making what you're supposed to get. It's all net. It's all. That's net gain, because you're not supposed to charge more than that you're charging, and so every time that item is purchased, that's to the good. And no, it's not as if though the system that is in place is so thorough that you're going to be caught, right? It's like there are limitations to the kind of surveillance and the kind of enforcement and all of that. Significant limitations. So when you hear 100 stores have been tagged for violating, that's like the best that we can do. Because remember, one of the things that we discussed when this issue came up last year is that no store, the people who are supposed to be enforcing price control, where is there any campaign to make consumers be aware of what items are even price control and what the price control is? So very few people who are shopping on a regular basis have one list with them as to the items and what the cost should be. There's no campaign, there's no awareness campaign. There's very few stores, if any, I've not seen any, where you can go and say, these are the price control items and this is what the cost should be, so that you know that they are complying. It's all just completely, yes, we credit the fact that there is some level of surveillance. There is something there. Somebody is trying to do something because you have a list. Right? If you didn't have a list, then you would say, well, you know, we create price control, we don't even check. So getting 100 stores and say, okay, good. Something was done. The problem is that we not see part like the full strength they're into protecting the consumer. You put in the price control for say, oh, we understand inflation, we understand that the price of goods, and we don't want people to take advantage of price gouging, that's one problem. The thing is that very important steps where could assist in minimizing the taking advantage of consumers, which continues, obviously, 100 stores. Right, 100 stores. And remember, when you hear that, always be reminded that that is not like, oh, the product of a fully staffed surveillance operation where you know, okay, this is the extent of the wrongdoing that is taking place. This is just an indication that the matter prevails, price gouging prevails. The people are not studying that whole price control thing. So that's not even in place. People, 100 stores, don't really care. I think last year sometime they pointed out, they showed you that I think like maybe about 80 to 90% of the stores in I think San Pedro, for example, were not studying price control. So people they get taken advantage of. Really, they take money out of people's pocket when they're not supposed to take. Sorry if I am unimpressed with a minister saying somebody is going to be held fully accountable to the fullest extent of the law. Because the bottom line is that price gouging is a very serious matter. Very serious matter. And it goes beyond price control. Whether you like price control or not, let's forget price control for 1 second. The environment that we're in, there's very little protection from the collusion of price setting that represents a significant profit margin. So we don't have an extremely competitive environment for the retailing of everyday household items, everyday consumer items. We don't have that. It's not a legitimate market of competition going on. In fact, it's a very controlled environment. So even the items that are not price controlled, like we would have people say, listen, how can an item cost this much? Like, you figure out what that item costs when you see it online, or you see that item when it is probably for those who go across the border, and you say, but how the item costs so much here in Belize? How do you end up there? How do you justify the fact that an item, when you look at it online and it costs $2, when you go and you buy retail here in Belize, it's $10. Now, we understand shipping, we understand taxes and duty, we understand profit margin. But how do you end up deciding what these prices are going to be? So we're dealing with the fact that inflation has scorched the planet. For the past couple of years, inflation has been one of the most significant realities of the planet. And consumers have been taking the fullest amount of that pressure, take the full lick. So, increase in prices on goods is a reality. But what is not a reality, what is not fair, is when there is an opportunistic approach to the fact that, well, oh, hey, inflation there all around the world, so yeah, we could now increase and get even one bigger bite, because you can't argue with you know that prices to go up. So when we go to the stores, and we've had this conversation, when you go to the store, you don't really know what part of this the profit margin, what part of this the cost of good. And there's no system in place to make sure that, hey, if you don't have a competitive market, whatever it is, the collusion decide will be the price fair and good, that can be the price of the good. Because the range of prices are very, very small. You might have one particular store where the price go a bit higher than others, but generally these prices in the goods, there's no competition. It's a controlled environment for the retailing of goods. So outside of the price control goods, there is undoubtedly advantage taking. Because there's no way for the consumer to fully understand what is the price of that item really. How much of that is somebody's profit margin? And what is a fair profit margin if I am somebody that is importing and retailing an item? What is a fair if I am importing, say for example, I'm selling toothpaste. We all have to get toothpaste. I say, all right, I get me toothpaste, and toothpaste costs me so much, and I have to pay so much duty, and I pay so much on shipping, so now I mark you up to where I mark you up on. What is the markup? We need to understand where the markup. So the whole environment of price setting, what we are paying for goods, is made worse by the fact that we are going through inflation hell for the past couple of years. And the value of money has been reduced. Purchasing power has been reduced. And it's not as if though people's salaries and wages are reflecting the fact of where the price of goods are. So it's a compounding situation, which that's a more complicated problem to take on. But when you have price control, now you know, okay, this is what the price is supposed to be. So we described it that we don't know whether or not this whole fight against price gouging, they're either like they're a real fight or they're like wrestling, where they're a fake fight. So if every time we hear, oh, we have a list of offenders, oh, and we have some repeat offenders, it's like nobody did take that serious. And the problem with it is that the consequence for doing it is not discouraging. So I want to still make what I have to make, and if I have to pay your fine, I pay your fine. I still come up on top. That's the situation that we have. So it's very discouraging to me when you understand what price gouging means. Price gouging means that you to take from me where you're not legally supposed to take. You to take money, you to charge me for something, and again, let us not. Somebody will say, well, you just have to go and find a store. When they do that to you, the fact is that it's really just a big collusion going on with the retailing of goods. So you don't really exist in an environment where you have stores competing against stores for pricing. That is not happening here. You can't say, oh, well, you know, you hear where we 10% less than this one. We do not have a competition going on for prices. In fact, the prices seem to be competing to go up rather than to go down. There's no legitimate competition going on, in my view. So when you talk about price gouging, when you talk about holding people accountable, when you talk about fullest extent of the law, how strong is the law that discourages this kind of behavior from taking place? That's a part of the problem that we have. So here we go again, another list, repeat offenders, and you won't hear about it again for the next 6 months until some list is put forward again. And nothing changes, because in the meantime, when you go to the store, you are not only paying more than you should pay for goods on average, but even on items that are supposed to have certain limits on it. This proves that many of the people who are retailing our stuff don't care. They are not bothered. They don't look at the consequences as being significant. And it's business as usual. And that is a huge problem. It's 24 minutes after 7 o'clock. We go to 2 Cent Scam with, sponsored by 4th Point Security. We'll be right back.
You're watching WB and this is XTV and welcome to Rolling Creek. All right, I want to say big respect to our sponsors, 4 Point Security and Euphrates Auto Rental. All right, the question of the day, employment in a Rolling Creek. What about employment in a Rolling Creek? We can find out the people in 2 cents in a Rolling Creek and find out how the job situation standing at this side. How the job situation standing in a Rolling Creek? How to get job, how to work, how to survive?
We survive by appearances sometimes, not all the time. Yeah.
That's how to survive.
Sure.
That Rolling Creek.
Yeah, sure.
That's your 2 cents.
Yeah.
Rolling Creek got job, you just have to create your own job.
That is it. That's your 2 cents.
That's my 2 cents out of the day.
Everyone quick got job, but most of them don't want to work. So they say no job because they don't want to work.
That's your 2 cents.
Yes, that's mine.
All right.
People look for job. They say no job there. But people don't want to work.
when they say job not like you or me not like job, they look for when they say you look for work and they don't want to work or what you say? Yeah, I know. All right. Yes. I like work and work not like me. That you too say? Yes. All right.
Things really rough out there right now. Right now the politician, they got a big raker. You check? All they do that so pop.
But people are say, when they know you like me, when they say you don't do good because you got the business.
Yeah, but you are for the wrong. You know they're wrong. You check?
Who feels it knows it.
Who feels it knows it.
All right.
And upon the real side, man, one party come out, you say, well, all right, things will get better. And when that party they come in and they won't set as scrapers. So things really tight, me Bale, but we make it by the grace of God, right? Yeah, that's my little 2 cents. We make it by the grace of God, you know?
Right.
All right, it's 7:34. Welcome back. This is WUB Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes on this Monday morning, 13th of January 2025. Mose Hyde hosting. And let me just repeat, the telephone number for you to call in is 280-5848. That's the live line for you to be a part of the conversation. And we do always appreciate when you take the time out to link and tell us how you were thinking and you are feeling this morning. So far, if you're just joining us, we've spoken a bit about the fires that are ravaging Los Angeles, California over the past week or so. And then we've taken on the matter of price gouging, which late last week and in our news report today, we indicate that well over 100 stores have been flagged for their pricing violations. And we have the Minister of Supplies Control, Minister Mose, speaking on the need for consequences and for those consequences to be tough and all of that. And that sounds good, but the reality is that we've heard it before. This is the second such list. The last time we had to make some noise to have the list put out. You know, just as how, you know, this is how it works. If you are, at the very least, if you're going to be violating, we ought to know, well, the stores that are doing this, so that you as the consumer, you make a choice. And so just simply saying that, oh, we have so many stores that have been flagged, or 100, 152, or whatever the number is, but you don't know these stores. So the last time, this is in the earlier parts of 2024, we said, but why is the list being kept as some kind of secret? It's not. These are people who are violating consumers and violating the trust of the people that support them. And that is really one of the things that we've got to really lay in here. They say fair exchange is no robbery. Fair exchange is no robbery. I'll go up to hear that. No. We don't have the best relationship when we are talking about retail stores in neighborhoods and the respective neighborhoods. Some, you have individual situations where you might have a better situation, but overall, the people who go to grocery stores, not people who they order stuff online or order from Amazon or they go to a supermarket. Just think about how much money spent on a daily basis at the neighborhood, at our neighborhood stores across the country. Like, just think about it. It's like I can't recall, it's very, very infrequently you go in a store anywhere in any neighborhood here in Belize or anywhere you go, and people are there in there. Like, they literally, these stores, once they open, people are there. It's a constant line of people coming to buy goods. This is how we end up with goods in our house, that they will buy it right at these stores. And what we know is that while in other fields of entrepreneurial fields or commerce, or you got businesses where pop open and then try one thing and we see them full, that's not something where you see a lot of, that you see grocery stores fail, I believe. You see these big market, big shopping areas open, neighborhood stores, they open, and not often you see them go in. Any panada shop might open today, next year, they're not there. The other areas of business, people, any business, try, they don't make it. Some make it, some don't. But one of the areas where, let's say, I, at least just from my observation, where I could say, like, seem like they are not go bad at all. Grocery stores very rarely go bad. No matter how much of them exist, you could have 5, 6 in a one area, and they all make it. They seem to make it. I mean, they're not cave in, go out of business, so they still exist. So the point of that is that the consumers have been supporting these businesses. Whether or not the relationship is cordial or as good as it should be, the fact is that the people who are operating these businesses in these neighborhoods and across the country, you have been supported. You have been supported. Unless it is that you're not really worried about whether the business will make money or not. The fact is that these stores, once they open, they don't close. So these stores come up and just to do their thing. Maybe you have one shop owner might change, at least the person who they in the shop might change, but the shop remains open. So there's just the hard-earned money of people on a daily basis to go in for maintain, support, and make these businesses thrive. So they are the rock where you build your business pan. And consumer, many of them are not rich, but they have to have the essential items in their house. The neighborhood might be struggle, but they still have to have the necessities, and that your store then go to. That's the way we have. So when you have one price control per items, where you're supposed to do there to say, all right, make we control these items because these items are the ones where people really need, and we can't allow the markup to go crazy, obscene. When you violate that, that's one deep injury, that one deep insult, that one deep attack. Like one business for care about the people who make the business succeed. Like, we not got a lot of ads. We know in our business where people line up to come buy pizza, the airtime of Creme Radio, XTV. That's not so this work, right? We depend upon it. Businesses and companies, we want to promote them products. So we got some, we don't have a lot. We got a lot of business where they don't even sneeze per week. We got a handful of people where give us support, and that's how we end up stay on. But that handful, I could tell you, I know every one of them. And the value where you have for the person who come and buy your product, man, that's a special thing. You have such respect. This is how you maintain. This is how you able to survive. So you fundamentally want to treat your clients and your customer with so much respect, because you value the support what they give. Because without them, you don't exist. This business don't exist. Without again, only a handful. But listen, you have to value them. And especially the ones where advertise with the way like through thick and thin. Like we got some advertisers when we stay with we through COVID. Hey, listen, I just tremendous gratitude and respect that you have that kind of partnership and that they stay true and they stay with we through that. Man, watch out. You don't have no reluctance for getting all the extra. Getting all the extra. That's how you think about the people who support you. We stay with you. Yes, yo. Listen, I don't know who, like we got some clients and you sit there. And often sometimes I would come here on this show and say, yeah, the people in where you see advertise, we gaining the love when you spread the love, when you buy, when you purchase, or when you make choices about who you want to be partners with your dollar. That they are not the people where, if these are the show where you link with, then they are the people where you have to support because they make it possible. Again, we're not going a lot, but day one day we just have to give maximum respect to. This is not different from any business. Like that is just how businesses work. You have maximum respect and ratings for your customers because they make your business work. You don't want chance or rough up. You want to make sure your customers they feel good. The bottom line is that the broad public, especially working class people, that for them money support every day, morning till night, all the grocery stores and all the grocery supermarkets where exist. I mean, they pop up, you turn and look back, you see one new one pop up in all the villages, in all the towns across this country. They pop up, they're big, and that the people, especially working class people, that they spend their money. That they spend their money. Yes, someone see when they could get that Melchor, someone see when they could get a Chetomal. Yes, that happened, but by far, on a daily basis, there are no people where they go to order nothing on Amazon and all of that. No. If they Amazon, that right at the street corner, right wrong the lane, that they Amazon there. On a daily basis for every little item where they need that, you don't have to go. Because come high, come low, come high, you still have to make sure that something in your house, some basic essential things where you need to survive. And that day, the people spend. So when you violate that, when you put one price where wrong, you put one price where there is a saying where say, okay, this house only for be $2. It can't be higher than $2. You might want to charge 10. But because now you have a rule and say this are only 2. You charge $2.50. That's more than just one violation of one law. That's more than just I broke one regulation. You disrespect. You injure and insult the very people who make your business make it. You know they are to worry about how rich you to get to do that. We don't worry about the control we have over the whole retail sector. We just say if the thing for only cost $2, make the thing cost $2. Listen, grocery stores name need for advertise that believes. You ever see a grocery store advertise that believes? You don't have to advertise. Because morning till night, we people go in and support these establishments. We have one call. Krem, good morning, WB.
Morning, Belize. Yeah. As usual, knowledge experiment. I have a question though. Who decides to go on the price control list? Because the list sharp compared to the amount of things when I send to the grocery store. So the opportunity for markup, wow.
Yeah, I think there was some, yeah, I mean, it was a very arbitrary thing where I guess the government had some conversation amongst themselves as to some of the items. It wasn't some kind of, it wasn't a decision, or it wasn't a list that was based on consultation. Very few things are based on consultation. Sister Yaya, you're very aware of this. The list is not perfect, but it's still a list. And indeed, there are far more items that are not on price control than are on price control. So it's not like they don't have an opportunity for just, unfortunately, if they want, say, okay, well, if you stop me from charge 50 cents on the house, I want to put it past something where we're not under price control. Like, that is unfortunately available for them to do, right? So, yeah.
I think that the one that, I mean, I don't know where I work. I really don't know where I work. I think that there has to be more, and up to the people, and we to go up buy the thing there over and over, and
but Sister Yaya, we don't know. Sister Yaya, no. Listen, I feel that just one, and suggested it like months ago, make one conditioner having one store that you have to have visible to everybody who come there, one list of the price control items and what the price is supposed to be, so that the person who goes in there is aware that they are being charged more. Very often people don't even know what the price is supposed to. I imagine if we were to do an exam, right, I can't tell you, like I had to talk about this, I can't out of my head or tell you what are all the items and what the price control is, because that there's no thoroughness has been done in that regard.
I agree that all shops should have price control items publicly displayed. But then it's up to we the people to demand that. At minimum, demand that. But because we just go along and like I have one new co-host, Sunday, you were just, I find absolutely knowledgeable and dynamic. And it keeps bringing the point that because we're lack of way, not have the knowledge. And once your population not knowledgeable, that we won't get it because we don't have the knowledge. So at minimum, I say to people, not like we simple, we are common sense to know that we money have less value than it is over and over again. So it's up to we for demand, listen now. No. What's up the price control list everywhere? I will ask Marisol today if she has it. And then we the people have to start to post it up. Once we have access to it, make that be your cover picture, your profile picture, like put pressure on the state to say, we don't have to make like we take responsibility because we have to know the price there, but put pressure on the state. Like, I don't know how to get with people to wake up and say, yo, we accept their violations. At least we could do that. Bar outside said, force it up in every shop. Run this country, the price country. I didn't know excess idea of make this more.
I think that you've rallied around the cry, only the people will save the people. And one of the unfortunate lies that we believe is that we are powerless to do anything. People very often would tell you, man, I don't know why you didn't say anything, but I cannot know and change. Where me as an individual, what kind of power me as an individual have. And one of the most powerful things where we have, no matter how modest a reality you have, how much of the struggle, every day, people from all walks of life, they purchase things. And for we purchasing power, when put together, they are very serious power. And we often use our purchasing power in a very, you'd I say, careless manner. We are very indifferent about our purchasing power, and very rarely do we have a situation where we are able to organize our purchasing power in such a way that it really changes our reality. I think this is a classic example where if a store, and I've said this when hurricane, right? You got a hurricane and you have one store try price gouge pound water. Like if you chance me when I'm in my hour of greatest need, and especially in our emergency, I feel obligated for endure the inconvenience, because in some instances there were inconvenience. Maybe this is the store the closest to me, and so for no purchase that your store means I will have to walk a little longer. No, we do have the situation where you do have individuals that maybe because of safety, they might not want to go to our next neighborhood or go too far, but most people are able to could go down shop different. Say if this shop here hurt me, I can't support this. On principle, it's not personal. They're not preaching animosity. It's just for say, if you don't respect me, I can't respect you, and if you price gouge me, you don't respect me. Like fundamentally, there is zero respect if me as your regular customer is not worthy of you being fair. Then you don't respect me, and if you don't respect me, then I will have to respect me, and then I can't support you. And I think that kind of you know that there's so much awareness campaigns and consumer empowerment organizations around the world. Unfortunately, we have not been able to do that here in Belize, right? To really bring together our purchasing power to represent our interests. And I feel that in the face of this price gouging, especially, remember now, this price gouging is on top of the fact that we are facing inflation from hell for the past couple of years. I feel like some consciousness of how we wield our purchasing power is necessary, and we can't just say this is how we the people save the people, by understanding the strength of our purchasing power, like that we make these companies successful, that we make them make the money, that we make the yes, put together for we 2 cents, 3 cents, $1 and $2, you put it all together across the country, and that the millions of dollars on a weekly basis. And if you can't respect me enough to not take more than you should take, then I have to act in my own interests and have some level of respect for myself and do something about it.
I am Mose, give me food for thought indeed. I appreciate the reason.
It's a very, sister, it's a conversation we have to be upfront, because we have a situation where the whole retail sector is very organized, and they are not in control. So we know you don't have to be, very few non-Chinese Belizean grocery stores exist. So no matter which district, from Corozal to PG, from Belize to Cayo, and villages and towns in between, there are hundreds and hundreds of these stores, and they're owned by Chinese Belizeans. And so there is a great control. We do not have the view, and again, this is only based on observation and experience, we don't have the view that these stores are acting as individuals that are, I know you don't like free market, but the argument for free market is that you have competition and then the consumer will benefit from it. But we don't have a user experience where give we any sense that there is an active competition between these stores. In fact, most of us suspect that this is a conglomerate acting as multiple stores. So that's our view of it. So the very mechanics of how we are experiencing retail goods is a very controlled, and so now you have one situation where the consumer is going to always be at a significant disadvantage. And really, no government, no politician will have one talking about that. They know not what nobody will want to talk about. We exist in an environment where all the millions of dollars we get spent on retail shops across the country, no retail shop has to advertise their products or advertise their goods. Most retail shops having the identical products what the next one have. Like this is what has been created. This was not the way it was when you and I were running around as Lee Boy and Lee Girl, Sister Yaya. It was different. So in a matter of, right, within our lifetime, this has completely changed. And there are certain built-in disadvantages to that. One is that the consumer has lost a certain amount of influence on what will happen in an environment because they don't have real choice. You think you have a choice. You have the illusion of a choice, but you don't. So when you are being price gouged, there's an extra insult to that because you understand, and let the truth be told, it exists because, and this is where we have to speak to our Chinese brothers and sisters, the success of your grocery stores, respect to your work, to the work you put in, and all that is a part of what you do as an owner and all of that. But none of it works if we did not spend our money with you. Like, none of it works. None of it. If we withhold our money from you, it all falls down. So whether you respect us or not, the fact remains is that your success is built on our purchasing power. So the respect has been earned even if it's not being given. And if you're a price gouger, you're not respecting us. This is not to say that you don't have stores. Obviously, 152 is not the entire hundreds and hundreds of stores that exist. You obviously have stores that are not doing this. To those stores that are not doing this, we say respect. You are appreciating the source of your success. You are appreciating and respecting fundamental level of respect to the consumer and their purchasing power. But we, the consumers, have to respect our purchasing power. And again, unbelievably, last time around we had to make a whole bunch of noise to make them release the list of stores they violate. I don't know if that list has really been put out. I have not seen it. I hear a number, but the names of the stores have not been put out. I find that to be an unacceptable omission. The names have to be there. If we can know that it is Mr. Sutherland who has been arrested and charged for riding one 5-gallon bottle of water by bike and put on bail for $200, we could know that who the price gouge we and take money out of the pocket when they're not supposed to take.
I have one grocery store cartels, I believe, and that could only happen because people in a power influence agree with it. And what evidence of that would be that we not did this list with our grocery store names published or released consistently. So even if we have to, when I said name and shame them, to say, oh, this is the grocery store where on this date they violate. 1 week later they violate again. So clearly they want us to intend to violate and realize and we just decide. So I don't know which ministry or department responsible to release the list to say, why we have to chasing up for the list? Why are we not free up the list if we're interested in really Belizean people? The list supposed to free up consistently, like weekly or every 2 weeks?
No, I can't talk about this time around. I don't know if the list has been provided. I was down and out last week, last week that when this come out, this morning, the report. I know the last time we had to do that, we had to demand that put the list out. Maybe the list has been provided, but I haven't seen a report of the list. So I don't want to be ahead of myself on that. If I were to bet, I would say the list has not been provided, but I don't know that for a fact.
Fair enough. I still say that the list ought to be released more often. Put it in a newspaper, put it in a newspaper, put it in a newspaper. The public have to have access to the list. What good the list if the people, the state should have the responsibility to make sure the list gets published and that the Belizean people have access to it. Because that not help we. If you just release it to a media house and a one-time news story, that not help we. If we don't really care about the people and want to empower the people, I mean, we have to have confidence in what we sell, and that's something we have to take time, but we could really create changes. So I said to people, one time, and I'm writing down because I'm in me for calling, and I forget, and I know that I'm almost break time, and I pass break time. One I had in 2019, when we had from Global Education Foundation and Image Factory, met one night for one of the one day, Papa, Pastor Building with us. After the murderer, Thomas Paslow, we make her nice. They never named it wine in 1990 Plaza. They never named 1990 Plaza, but it still never named after Thomas Paslow. So that's an example of people power work. When I leave the process for the better episode, they never did it right away for 4 years, but they changed it. When they named August 1st Freedom Day, you have led that, and other people had something to say about it. It take, I think, like Father something after this something days that they gone and changed the law to make it be Emancipation Day. So we have lived experiences. UEF watch. Lived experiences where we lead processes where people think it no one change and change. So that for make we, and I know some we don't know the stories to know that we really have like once religious people get it said that we the people really have the power to make their system working for we interest, and this is a perfect example. If we don't buy on a shop, they don't have no business. And I know, there are certain things that we do need, but like is picking up a wee face, and we just allow it, they're picking up a wee face, and we still go back there and go begging. Why would it care if we still beg at religion people? Like, this is show that we don't got no pride enough for we own self. But we know somebody for picking up a wee face over and over again, and we will go back to the shop, go back. And there are some religion people who have good relationship with some Chinese grocers. They do, like, meaningful human relations.
Absolutely.
Like, really.
Absolutely.
We need to capitalize on that and reason with them people to say, this can't continue.
Yeah, there's, again, it's for us to firstly demonstrate that we respect ourselves and to not accommodate our own disrespect. And then people will have to, I feel like that is how, whether they like you or not, they have to respect you. Because they know that you stand on your own self-love and your own self-respect, and if you're coming here foolishly, then they, you know, it not work out for you. Like it can't be. You can't expect for build success for my purchasing power, but then you know care about me and you don't disrespect me and chance me. Like we don't have to, again, like I said, they're not about hang out together and with a ballet together. No. Fundamentally, it's like, okay, you have your store, at the coin and I spend, treat me with the respect that if there's a price control on an item that you know they take advantage of the fact that Nembalia halfway with their measures and they ain't really put out the price, they not put it no way, but you know the price. You as the shop owner know the price. You know what the price is supposed to be. Again, you know, I get sometimes I've been frustrated enough and some people disagree with me and I have said, listen, this is why you can't get me for hate contrabandistas. Like, it sounds like I support criminals because, you know, the contrabandistas are, you know, held up as, you know, these are criminals. And I said to myself, but if we go on an environment where we get suckered, then you can't tell me that I'm contrabandista that I'm a criminal. If we have one legitimate environment where everything will work correct and fair, and then you still have the individuals to do that, then you can more sell me the argument there. You understand? And again, I completely get it. I will never come here and say, yo, we need to go to Chetamala, we need to go to Melchor, because I do know that when time comes for people need support and donations and sponsorships and so, none of the companies across the board that they support that. Yeah, I get that. But at the same time, we got some elements, we got some rogue elements here will make it very difficult for you ignore and feel like we deal with mutual respect here. And man, I think a year we are dealing with it with the extent of the law. Like, what are they dealing with the extent? Anytime you hear anybody saying I deal with the extent of the law, that was talking for me. Like, I always just talking like, oh, we have to close down some stores. Like, listen, if you don't have no, one time the list come out, and you say we have to deal with it stiff. The next time the list come out, oh, we have to deal with it stiff. At some point I start realize, man, you just talk. You just talk. This is like wrestling. It's a fake fight. You don't really go back into it because listen, I very hesitant to go and say, oh, you know what, we don't have one. We are just building a campaign against these stores and just, no, where we have one situation where, listen, we just simply act in our own interest. The regulatory, the government, they got a job, they got the power to make price gouging be discouraged, and the way they do that will make the fine not be, I don't know, $400 or $500, whatever it is, because we had discussed this last year when this came up, that the fine, and we actually had the brother from Supplies and Control as a guest, and we had it. He said, listen, if that is the fine, then people just want to pay the fine, because in the meantime, the net gain is greater than the fine. Like, come on. But this, for make this 2025 begins with this, that, oh, you know what? People still don't care about the price control. And remember that price control, the only one small part of the overall consumer experience at the retail store, because one bunch of other items, we don't have no a way to prove when you go buy one item, what portion of this the duty and shipping, what portion of this the cost price for the product, and what portion of this the profit margin. I remember a fair exchange is no bread. Nobody expects you to charge for the item and not make one profit. But what percentage of profit is fair and just? You need to make 100% profit margin? Do you need to make 50% profit margin. Like, what is fair? We got to go to break. We got to go to break, sister. Thanks for the call, though. Appreciate it.
Honor the people and save the people.
This is WB Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes. We will break and come back. All right, welcome back to the WB Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes. Mose Hyde in the house with you on this Monday morning, 13th of January 2025. Our telephone number is 280-5848. That's the live line for you to participate in the conversation. This morning we've spent, firstly, if you're just joining us, we kind of paid some attention to the fires in Los Angeles, California, of course, because we do have a significant Belizean population in that area. Definitely the scale of that disaster is just enormous, and it's just, again, points to, whether you like it or not, climate change reality that is upon us. And then we've spent talking about another fire, a different kind of fire, rest of the morning, and the fire of inflation, which has been burning a hole in our respective pockets for several years now. And you have the fire of inflation that is just a legitimate inflation, and then there is the inflation caused, the extra inflation that is caused by wrongdoing, aka price gouging. And we brought this up in light of a release indicating that well over 100 stores countrywide have been flagged with violating price control, and in fact a number of them are what you would call repeat offenders. That's the term that they use. And so we've been having a conversation about that, but we have a call. Krem, good morning, WB.
Hello?
Good morning. What's that?
I was actually listening to you this morning, so I already know what the fight is. And I got some another friends there, but I just go around and let's see what they call ice. And I don't roll up and I don't do a 2 reps because I got some roads to show.
Okay.
When it comes to this price housing. But first of all, before we go to the price housing, I'd like just to say something, no? Recently in December, I noticed that we proud believers, but don't you realize that we are some proud believers? Very proud, why? I respect that those are why. Well, in December, I look at my believers that relegated to squalling our shop over the area where this country was. And I thought about it and I said, who will win out of this thing? Well, it politically boiled down to the Chinese people. The Chinese win because we got masses of people to go to his store. Now, I want to leave it back to when the Chinese just got there. When all of the shops was vegan, when a Chinaman came and he said, my friend, go buy my shop, get my thing. Very good price. Well, those days are long away. Now, when you go to the Chinese store, I will give you one thing that I want, pressure. And this thing happened to me when I was, this is the type of people we are dealing with. No compassion, no empathy. I don't care about you. I just want you to buy and get them out of my shop. A man went to buy I don't remember if the lactose 1, 2, 3 or a family. But when the guy went to buy the milk was spoiled. And apparently they don't take out some out of the milk before you realize the milk spoiled. So it's very sharp. And the Chinese man I get me to one beef, so maybe the devil got over that. When the man basket, the man said, well, put it dry, give you a milk of a smile, I don't give my baby, I know what. The Chinaman, the way the milk, you see, how much it take out? The discount month. Like when you figure, after take off of the milk for a pay this month, to give what style milk, it is China. But when the Chinaman understand the English, try to tell the Chinaman, I said, my brother, the road today is I've done enough in here for you. Because that's on the night thing. I take this can of milk from, and I put it somewhere where you would not like it, brother. You remember the morning, man. You know when it's milk. These people don't care about us. So when you tell me that the man will gouge me big out your eye, but my body takes care of it. You want to sand in their eye. Rock salt in their eye. You understand me? They will make you cry, my brother. The way how they do anything, I don't know any other country in the world what could have tolerate what they are doing to us today. And you see this Kabbalah was sweet Kabbalah, you know why? Because you don't take over everything. I think 2 big bishops, they can't get it. But the day they put them through, I think all they think that. Then we are around how this Kabbalah really works. Nobody ever compete with somebody out of this Kabbalah. You keep your price one day to sell one and the next time. That's it. And whenever we are in, the Kabbalah gets a little message or a phone call, and we uniformly raise your price. And when we go, so I give one more story about Mose. This is our first work, our shop tells me how it works. You see, we got all the back ladies in the back. But they have a back lady with a real back rocking in. And the minute somebody will complain, the way whole complaint come in, it don't come in that the police come and the guns on and they all quarantine the shelf and tell you not touch nothing until we get we scared. They come, the person will complain, and they come get the price control. By the time they reach, they don't move on, and they're going to have 1 or 2 correct and put the correct one. So when you go, you look like one. Oh, sorry, the black, about that. You understand me, bro? Mm-hmm. And like when you say, if you want to say, the side, we don't even know if the gentleman get up there. Because, you see, you cannot offend certain people, I believe. I know for a fact you cannot offend the Lord by God. And you cannot offend the Chinese. You imagine the Chinaman take an assault of a man when he died by clothing, and you never even done again. The guy will assault the most the conductor will assault the one who push her. He got to deal with it. But you know why he got to deal with it? Because you look just like me, I know. The same color skin. But if it's a Chinaman, man goes, you know, he lives. I'm not trying to be sarcastic. I am just telling you the reality of the world. Lord, how many of our judges do go to the store to buy? How many of our attorneys later when you walk to the shop and see the prices? I definitely know none of our representatives ever go shopping. They don't. They don't physically go to the shop because they would be appalled and see you. And it's obvious they are not shopping because they are not appalled at the way how the thing works now, and I left them with it last at home. And our construction worker was, you know. But when I go to the store board and the man tells me the thing are up by $60, what can I do, Mose? Do I go search to see if the price somewhere are cheaper? Or I just tell myself, Instead of wasting the time of the yak to look, let us just like that. To get to the people,
Yes, sir.
this is how the reality of how we live, bro. So when you give me 2 days or 3 days GST freedom, when I then walk like this, bro, you insult me. You take me as a proud leader. Me going out and spend my money. Not a cent I gave into that, you know. Because I have gone for a bad work. I have pride and I have decency. I don't know why I have. Because honest, so if I pay for it before you have, I will pay for it to find out. But I will not be insulted by your little crumbs you threw at me.
All right, my brother. It's 8:35. We take a break and come back.
In Belize, we value our families. We value our communities.
All right, welcome back to the WUB Wake Up Believes Morning Vibes for Monday morning, the 13th of January 2025. Mose hosting today. Our telephone number is 280-5848. That's the live direct line for you to participate in the conversation. And of course, we have a call. Krem, good morning, WUB.
Morning. Morning, Mr. Mose.
Good morning, sir.
I got one thing to tell you. I got some friends. I thought Chinese, when they go gamble their money, that guy casino and lose, and then they raise up their price for anything. I have to watch that.
All right, my brother. All right, I don't know about all of that. I don't know about that. But the thing is that inflation means that, you know, prices of things have been going up, right? The problem, so that's one problem. The other problem is that the mechanism where prices are put on goods is wide open. Can't say, well, you know, that make the market decide. If you sell things that are store and you put your price too high, then people not going there. So they're going out the next store. So they feel like it's an economic argument that the prices of things will be where it's supposed to be. But we're going to call. Krem, good morning.
Hi, just want to call back. I ask the Legion people to put this number in on the contact phone. This is the number for call for reported suspected violations. I really want we put ourselves in our position of willing to do something, you know, for we own interest. So at minimum, the number is 607-4687 for report suspected violations. 607-4686. One more time, 607-4686. Put it in on the cell phone. Suspected price gouging violation. If there's nothing else, just call and set name and store, what location on the day and time, and I want the suspect to be price gouging. At least do that. Help me.
So the thing is that, just quickly, you did share with me the link on Facebook where the names of the violators are actually are listed. You're able to see them, and you know, obviously it's from all over the country. So at least, unlike last year, we didn't have to quarrel about getting the names. The names have been put there, right? So good. So now what you are putting out is a number. Could you repeat the number? This is the number we're supposed to call.
Okay, just go to the government of Belize press office. 5 days ago, they imposed establishment issued violation ticket. So to go to the government of Belize press office and it says establishment issued violation ticket. Go to share it. You like share it. And from there, I have the phone number for report suspected violation 607-4686. Put it here on the phone. 607-4686 report established violation. But I need to do one more thing. I know you finish all the things like that night, but okay, I'll pick up this basket and I trust the people together. We want to find some means from this price gouging. Thanks for putting the conversation forward again, Mose.
All right.
Only the people want to say the people.
This is WB Wake Up Believes Morning Vibes. And so there's price gouging, there's inflation, and then there is markup that go way beyond what it should be. And you say, well, the argument, the economic argument is that, well, then the market will decide. But the problem with that is when you have collusion, when entities either out of agreement or because they don't necessarily compete, but they actually are conglomerate, then they're able to exercise certain amount of leverage where the market now solve that. So if all of we work together, if I say the price of the house, I know they are the B spokesperson for the house. I need the house today. They help leave it. So I get a free endorsement, I guess. But I say, okay, we decide the house and be $2 instead of $1.25, $1, whatever it is. And I say, okay, well, we know to pay no $2 for no house, right? Problem is that all of we distribute together with up on the same team, so all of we sell it for that. Then you're not going to choice. That's the way you have to pay. Because now there's an agreement. You know, I got somebody and say, well, no boy, I know they charge no $2 for the house, I charge $150. Well, naturally when people find out, then going away for $150. Right? That's how it's supposed to work. But when you have a conglomerate, right, when you're not really on legitimate competition to go on, then you have the room for that kind of, so price control are not the only, price gouging are not the only thing. Remember, price gouging is that boy we take advantage and he speaks to a specific price control when it's supposed to adhere to and another do. Or failure for show the price or something or whatever. So these are violations. But it go deeper than that because the average good that you buy, none are we able to say where part of that it mark up where they pay. Because if I the import and retail and I had a container house, whatever, and pay for the shipping, pay for the goods, I have to got a price for it where the producer, wherever it is I buy it from. I don't know where we import this from. Obviously we don't make this here. So this get imported from somewhere, right? And this one come, I don't know how much box load of halls come when it come, but obviously to make it more cost effective, a lot them add a whole bunch of them, half container halls come and go and pay for the container and the shipping and the producer and get money, whatever, the broker and get money, then find a way and pay the customs duty and the taxes and whatever. And then now when I work out that and find out based on where all I don't pay, how much I could sell my individual house for. So now I decide whether my markup. You know, the markup, nobody have no control over the markup. No control over the markup. They control over the markup, the competition. But if there is no competition, then there is no control. And nobody can argue against markup. Markup their life. People in our business, they want to make something. They have to pay the cost of the operation, they have to pay for the electricity, the water, employees, blah, 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 blah. All of that factor in your markup. Okay. But what is a fair, decent, just markup? Right? Power item. If you have collusion, if you just have no competition, the markup could be anything. You're at the mercy of the markup, discretion, and how they feel. That, I feel, was a significant part of the problem. Because not only that we got inflation, and inflation the eat away, but we also in our environment we're not legitimate. And so the extent to which people could be opportunistic and could take advantage is great. Because if they're willing to be opportunistic, even when you got price control, you will think upon goods when you have no control, a free for all. That's a part of the problem. We're going to take a break and come back.
When you bank your way, it's amazing how much time
today on the WUB. With health and strength, we're going to re-up again tomorrow morning at 6:30 for the Tuesday morning edition of Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes. And of course, it don't happen if we don't have the team behind us, making sure you see way and hear way. At Creme Radio, we've got Larry G, our technician, and then at XTV WUB, Mr. Cliff Lewis, and in the control room this morning, Miss Alexi Belide. Hope you have a great Monday. As always, Belize, stand strong, stand firm. For now, we're gone!
Wake up, wake up, Belize. 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 Another day is here. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. We gotta keep moving. Na 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 na. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Everybody gotta put their time in. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Voice our opinion and place your calling. WB. Be yourself, see yourself. This is a show of people. Belize our hopes up to needless reason. Nobody feel